this is Vishali Patel with Sanskar Teaching, and today's video I'm going to talk about a few things that I wish I had known when I started my own business. Be sure that you're subscribed to our channel, like and comment, and turn on your notifications so you can get notified when I drop a new video. Let's talk about starting our business, my business. One of the things that, for a long period of time, and so many of you, or a few of you may be in the same boat as me, is that I had this idea of what I loved and what I wanted to do. I teach online languages. I have a deep love for Gujarati, which is my native language, and this is what I wanted to do as a business. I did all the required things, but there were few lessons that I learned as I went along, and I wish somebody would have told me this when I was starting out, when I was new, because you're so excited, and I was ready to go full force in this. And the first thing that I wish somebody would have told me was that yes, there's freedom in working for yourself, right? You're your own boss, and which is a motivator enough for many of us, because you create your own schedule, you could show up to work whenever you like. But the truth is, when you're working for yourself, you're on job 24/7 because you own your own business. And the key is to treat it like a true business, like you're going to work, right? So setting those business hours, keeping them, keeping yourself accountable for those hours and showing up at that time so that you could balance your family life, so that your spouse doesn't come back and tell you, I've lost you to this new venture you're on, or I've lost you to social media, or whatever startup that you're working on. The other thing I've noticed, and I don't do this consistently, but the days that I treat myself like I'm going to work, I get up, I get dressed, I put makeup on, and get over to my desk, I feel great. I feel like I'm in control and I got this. And so my thing is that when you're starting your own business, it is important to treat it as a business, not just something you're doing as a side hustle, or something that, it's just a pastime activity, as some people would say. Treat it like your own business. One of the things energetically that happens when you do, and this is, I firmly believe, that your business actually feels this, that you are treating it with that love and respect, that this is a business worth growing into millions of dollars and touching million lives as you want it to. The second thing I've learned is that when I was ready to create my product, and when I was ready to do, whatever the work that I needed to do, I was putting in so many hours a day trying to do this work. But where I needed to spend a little bit more time is spend equal amount of time learning about your business as much as you do working for your business. So, for example, I can have a really good thing. I spent hours creating this amazing product, but I don't know anything about website creations. I don't know anything about social media. I don't know a lot of these things. And although you're going to learn in the next step that you can get help, it's important that you learn the basics yourself so that you know what you're asking your people to do, right? So number 3 is, as much as you see on social media the perfect life of the female entrepreneurs, or any entrepreneur, male or female, that they do it all. They're moms, they work full time, and they have the side hustle where they show up 24/7 for it. Kudos to people who do this. But in my experience, what I've learned is that in order to do what I'm good at, I need help, and it's okay to ask for help. Not just from your family members, which you normally do because, it's your close people. You're like, okay, I can't make dinner tonight. Can you cook? That works. But also to find qualified people who are good at doing, what you're struggling to learn or spend a lot of time doing. And it's good to hire people if you can afford it. Or, know your own limitation and don't try to do it all yourself. Ask for help. There are different platforms like Fiverr where you can get help with video editing or other things, smaller tasks that you are not too sure of, for not having to spend a lot of budget, or not having to spend a lot of money, or have a big budget on hiring more employees, but you could do this. The other thing I learned, and this is something I learned the hard way, is nobody tells you to back up your work. You must back up your work. Okay, spend some of the wisest dollar or money that you'll spend when you're starting your business is to paying for iCloud services, because all of your work, although in that moment where you're in the mode of creation, you are going to forget about saving things. For example, when I create my class curriculums, as I was doing, I create the curriculum for our languages. And there was a phase where I was confused. Do I include stories? Do I not include stories? So I voice recorded, I don't know, I think it was like 12 or 15 stories. And if you know me, you know that I love telling stories. So I get really animated. And the stories it was just audio recordings, but they were really good. But I didn't feel like they fit into the curriculum. And I didn't save them. And then 2 months later, I was like, hey, I have that content ready. Like, I have those stories. I could plug it into this, or I could use it in a different platform. Maybe I could share them, on social media or something. I couldn't find them. And it was pretty devastating to know that, the stories that I worked so hard to create, and I couldn't find them. And I wish that I had backed them up somewhere. So back up your work, back up. I mean, a lot of you are already a step ahead of me, where you guys are everything you do is on laptop or computers. But if you're old school like me, where you prefer pen and paper, which is still, I'll tell you this. Moleskine is one of my favorite notebook company, and I have about 15 to 20 notebooks since the time that I started my business 5 years ago. And every planning that I do goes into my notebooks. It's just that's the way I work. And, I save them. And so if you're doing pen and paper, you have stuff backed up. But when you're working on the computer, just make sure that everything that you're creating and pouring your energy and time and heart into is somehow, you can retrieve it. Because even in that moment, you may not feel like, it's not that great. Chances are you may later think, oh, that's fantastic. Or I just need something to fill up that space, and you have something, right? Number 5 is, this is something I struggled with, and my friend series helped me get over this fear of myself. You have to know that when you're running your business, you have to be able to promote yourself. You do have to sell yourself, for the lack of better words, because we've all been in this place where I don't want to sound too salesy. I don't want to be always promoting. But you have to keep in mind, it is a business, and your ultimate goal is to, make it sustainable. And in order to do that, you have to make money, So you have to be able to sell your products in the most authentic way. It doesn't have to be that, I'm just going to try to sell you something that I don't really think it's worth, For example, I'll give you an example. I have these digital products and language learning tools, and we have this essentials course that I've created. It has multiple videos and PDFs and all the good things, right? And hours of time that went into that. So for me to put a price on it, this was really hard, because I feel like, oh, but my consumer can't afford this price. I can't do this. The truth is, I had to see the value in the amount of content that was in this course. This is a course that has, so many videos, so many PDFs, so many worksheets, so many audio clips, so many tools that are not available anywhere else. That somebody's going to have to keep this all in one place. A lot of times gone into my team. And so slowly I've overcome this fear of trying to sell my product or be able to promote myself. The reason that I'm becoming more comfortable with it is genuinely knowing that I'm here to help somebody else. But in order to sustain my business, it's like a win-win situation. I'm here to provide, they're here to receive, and in this transaction, there has to be money. This is just the world we live in, right? So if you're afraid of these things, have a little chat with yourself and remind yourself that the product you're creating look at it. Is it genuinely worth what you're asking for? And that you're worth, that it's okay to ask for money for what you're creating. Completely fine. This is also something that I've learned over a period of times. When I was starting my business, I used to do this as service to our temple, where I would drive 2 hours to LA and teach the languages that now I teach online. And because I did this for service for so many years, a lot of my close friends and family felt like, wait, what? You're going to turn this into a business? How is that possible? And there was a lot of doubts, a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of Desi people aren't overtly, Desi meaning Indian people aren't overtly negative, but there's that subtle negativeness that the messages that they give you. What I've learned is that you have to make a choice to surround yourself with those that are here to take you higher from wherever you are. They are here to cheer you on. They can show you your mistakes, that's fine, but they're not going to drag you down with your mistakes. They'll say, hey, this is where you could be better, and then you go up from there, not down. And to me, this has been, and you may experience this too. In my personal experience, I'll tell you that my close family members have felt like, hey, you're not the same anymore. You're not spending time with us anymore. The truth is, they're not bringing me that support, that uplifting that I'm looking for. So I spend more time with my books. I spend time with my podcasts that I love. I enjoy taking online courses that teach me and get me all pumped up to do more and better work for my school that I'm doing. I take courses or go to seminars, attend retreats with my friends where I feel uplifted. And it's really, if you've never experienced this, it's so much fun to get excited about your work. Like, you're so full of ideas. My friend and I do these work getaways or work retreats, and I'm telling you, they're so productive. It's like 2 nights, but 2 nights of bam, 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 because all you're thinking is work. And some things like this are, it's out of norm, because people will be like, well, you work from home. What do you need to go on work retreat for? So you have to decide for yourself where you can get this, uninterrupted, focused time for yourself. And this is a hard lesson that I'm still learning, that your startup, your business is just one part of your whole being, your overall being. So don't let it consume you. I know you want to succeed. I want to succeed. We want to do everything we can to make this the most profitable, most helpful, to everybody else, your consumers, your clients, guests, whoever you're dealing with. But your sanity, your health is equally important, and along with your family. So, take breaks as much as you need to. I know social media is this big thing on consistency that you have to do this all this time, you have to show up. And people that are on the other end that are not, creators or content creators, they don't know how much energy goes into doing this, coming up with these ideas. I'll give you a small example. I used to post 7 days a week on Instagram. It's great, but to come up with that much content, to have it lined up, because initially I was posting every single day. That takes up a big chunk of your time to come up with the idea, to actually go and post. And then we found a platform that allows you to auto post, but still you have to be prepared. And over a period of time, it just felt really like it was dragging me. Like I dreaded coming up with content. And that's not what this is about. I want to have fun with it. I want to learn new things and share things that are actually helpful and beneficial to my people, So I started reducing the posting amount to 5 days a week. And then, slowly it's reducing. It's just going down, and I'm taking breaks as much as I need to. I take social media breaks when I need to. I'm lucky enough to have a team that shows up for me when I can. But if you don't have a team and you're small, don't worry about it. Those that truly believe in you, they're going to be there for you. You could take that break for your sanity. So these are some of the things that as I'm still learning a lot of lessons as I go. It's not that I've, mastered this thing, but I do wish that I had known some of these things ahead of time so that I wouldn't have had those days where I'm just like, oh, I think I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm about to crash. I don't want to have those days, right? So it's good for all of us to have these lessons and continue learning these lessons. I look forward to hearing your comments. What lessons have you learned in your startup that maybe I can learn from you, that, things that have been beneficial to you, or, lessons you've learned from other people. So be sure to comment below, like and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you next time.